I just had an experience that prompted me to come and record this episode. And the experience was not a positive one. I received a message from somebody I know who has been listening to the podcast and wanted to let me know that she cannot align with my beliefs. And that was pretty much all it said. She said with love and respect, she could not follow it anymore. And that was it. And so she didn't really explain what it was that triggered her or anything. So then I had a reaction to that, obviously. And my experience was one that I evaluated and analyzed to understand greater. And I think that it was important and necessary. And that this episode, though very spontaneous and unscripted, is exactly what I was meant to do today. So I'm going to get right into what that experience was and what I think it means. I'm Dr. Williams, and this is my podcast. I have 2 graduate degrees in psychology, am a licensed mental health counselor, and an expert in the area of spirituality. I am devoted to living my best life and am sharing it with all of you. I'm bringing my expertise, education, and life experiences to you through this podcast. Everyone deserves to enjoy life, and that is what I'm here to talk about. Depression, anxiety, grief, you name it, we all go through it at one time or another. I believe there's a better way to come at these things than mainstream mental health care offers, and I'm here to offer you my perspective and dig into discovering how you can feel good no matter what life throws at you. It is my intention to contribute goodness to this world, and the content herein is how I do that. But one disclaimer before we dive in. Should you decide to apply the information offered here, be prepared for improvements in your life. You may even live happily ever after, and you'll only have yourself to thank. This is Feel Good Now, the Dr. Williams podcast. Before I get into actually what happened that led me to record this episode, I have to give a little bit of background into my morning. So today is Wednesday, and on Wednesday, my youngest son is in preschool for 3 hours in the morning, and then that's it. So that's all the time that I have to work on the podcast on Wednesdays. It was my intention this morning to work on editing another episode that I have to get it ready for publishing. And that was like on my docket. It's something that I do need to do, and it's kind of high on my priority list. But first, before I get to work on Wednesday mornings, I eat breakfast and have coffee. So I was preparing all of that when I realized that I was aware of my inner dialogue. And so I was kind of aware of what I was thinking about. And I realized that I was having a communication with my inner being. So this is a new thing. This is something that I have developed recently. And there's a good reason for it. And it's a useful one. And some of you are going to relate with this. But do you talk to yourself? Because usually talking to yourself is not something that is looked at favorably. But I have not traditionally been one to talk to myself, but now I do it a lot. And the reason is because that's where the answers are. And instead of just fretting about a question I have, or if I'm in some kind of dilemma and I'm looking for some guidance, and instead of researching it online, I've started to look inward and ask my inner being to guide me. And I have had the most wonderful response in doing that, because I realize, and I've talked about this in previous episodes, how I have access to infinite intelligence, just like you do, like everybody does. And why am I not utilizing that to get the answers that I need in the moment? Of course, you have to be in the right state of mind, right? You have to be in that state of allowing in order to be a receiver rather than a transmitter. So when you're asking the question, you're transmitting it, putting it out there, and you can't be receiving while transmitting. But if you ask the question and then get into a state of allowing in order to make yourself the receiver of the information, you will receive the information. This is something that I am utilizing on purpose now. So when I realize that I am contemplating something, or I have a question about something, or I'm in a dilemma, instead of just sitting in all of that not good feeling, I will ask the question and then purposely put myself in a state of allowing, which I can do because I've been practicing that. And then I receive the information. And then I usually thank my inner being and give appreciation for the reception of the information. And then I move on with life, and I just don't make it a super big deal because this is what is normal. This is something that is supposed to happen, and we all have this ability all the time. So I was doing that, though I don't remember what I was considering at the time. I remember that I had a realization that I was having this dialogue with my inner being and looking for some kind of guidance or an answer of some kind. And then I started to analyze that process. And while analyzing that process, I realized that it was way more important today for me to follow my inspiration and record an episode about inspiration and not work on editing the other episode. Because that was something that was just on my priority list, but it wasn't something I was feeling inspired to do. And anytime you do feel inspiration, that warrants following that inspiration. So, right before sitting down with a notepad, I picked up my coffee out of the coffee machine, and I happened to look at the clock on top, which is not the right time, and the time showed 2:22. And I haven't talked to you guys about numerology yet, but something that I understand through Abraham's teachings is when numbers start lining up in your daily life, that's just a sign from those that are in non-physical who are communicating with you that you are in alignment, and you're in alignment more than you're not. So when you start seeing a lot of numbers like 111, 222, 333, 444 over and over again, or even just once, if you see it and you recognize it as, oh wow, all those numbers are the same, then there's a message there. And for me, the numbers were 222. So I sat down with my notepad and I started to search for the meaning behind 222. And I looked it up and I kind of just briefly went over it. And I thought, okay, cool, but I didn't really think too much into it. So then I went ahead, made all my notes for the episode that I want to record about inspiration. And then I set the notepad down to drink my coffee. And that's when I checked my messages. And when I checked my messages, I found that message from my friend, somebody who I know is also a follower of Abraham. And then I had my reaction. I had a negative reaction, and I realized it, and then I started to turn that around. Because it's normal to react in a human way. We are humans, and these things are natural. So my instant reaction was that of no, like, oh my gosh, this is not what I want, right? It's that contrasting experience of somebody who is opposing me for whatever reason, and I have no hard feelings about that. And I automatically went, oh my gosh, no, that's not what I want. Because it isn't what I want. It is not my intention to make anybody else upset or hurt or anything negative. Like, I don't want that for anybody. But I also understand that those things are going to happen because contrast is part of our experience of creating clarity and understanding what it is we really do want. So I realized in my experience of this negative emotional response that the reason I was experiencing that negativity was because my inner being doesn't agree. And instantly that made me feel better. I recognized that the way I was thinking about this situation is not how my inner being is thinking about it. And that put me back into a state of alignment, and I felt better instantly. Because I remembered that what I'm doing with the podcast, the things I'm saying, the things that I am sharing with all of you, these are things that I am being inspired to talk about. And these are my truths. And this is my perception. And I am just sharing that in a really open way with the world. And not everybody can do that. There's a great sense of vulnerability that comes with being this out there in the world with who you are. And I am realizing that I am brave. I'm a brave person for doing that. And I can stand by my position because this is my life and my life is a gift. Just like your life is a gift. What I'm doing is part of my message to everybody because I believe that we can love and accept everybody despite our differences. And I would encourage everyone to feel empowered to be who they are, despite what anybody else thinks. And that's what I want to embody. I want to be that example. This is who I am, and I love who I am, and I want to know who you are, even if that means we don't agree about things. That's okay. In fact, it's good, because it's interesting. So I'm having these thoughts, right? And now I'm kind of like going in and out of feeling good and then feeling bad again and remembering and then feeling good and working through these emotions. In the past, before I knew what I know now, this would have ruined my day. And I would have had a strong emotional response. I would have cried. I would have been very upset. I would have had to call my mom and talk about it. And it would have ruined my entire day. I probably would still be feeling anxious when I go to bed and when I wake up tomorrow morning. But I don't feel that way anymore. Abraham teaches us that we should not care what other people think. And I know that sounds harsh. But if you want to be happy, and if you care about your own happiness, and that's the most important thing to you, then you have to understand that not everybody is going to align with you in every moment. And you have to find a way to maintain your happiness despite what someone else is experiencing and reacting to. Would you like to have an ad-free experience? I know you probably have my intro and my outro memorized by now, and maybe you just kind of want to cut out that ad space, this one right now that you're listening to, so that you can just get all of the content of the episode. Well, if that does sound like something that you're interested in, I've put together a Patreon account, and I'm offering all of the episodes I've recorded so far without that extra stuff, so you just get the content. And I'm also going to be offering members early access to the newly released episodes. So I'll be putting those on Patreon several days before the episode releases on all the other podcast platforms. So you'll be able to listen before everybody else. You'll also get access to the Dr. Williams Pod. It's a community where we're going to be able to interact and know each other on a more personal level. I'm going to be offering some Q&As so that we can really dive into some of these topics, and you can share your thoughts and I'll share my thoughts, and we can have a dialogue going. I think that we all could benefit from that. So that's something else I'm going to be offering. In addition, I'm going to be putting together a lot of exclusive content, things that I'm working on, creative projects that I have that are only going to be available to those people who are members on Patreon. You can find the link to the Patreon in the show notes, and I'm also going to post on social media, so you should be able to find it on all of my pages there as well. I look forward to getting to know all of you guys better and engaging in some co-creating together. For now, I'll just get back to the episode. See you on Patreon. So I went through this process and understanding what I was experiencing and considering what this other person was experiencing. And I definitely felt like there was some pain in her message. And that made me concerned for my friend. And this isn't somebody that I have a long history with. This is somebody I met recently, but felt a connection with, and I care about her. So I called her, and she didn't answer, and I left her a voicemail, and I told her basically what I just told you. And I do hope she calls me back. And now I have to just be okay either way. if she calls me back, then that's great. And I hope we can work through this and find common ground again and at least maintain our friendship despite our differences. And if she chooses not to, then I have to let that go. Because something I know about the law of attraction is if people do not match your vibration, they will go away. And that's okay. Because they're going in a direction that they need to go. And I'm going in a direction that I need to go. And sometimes that just happens. I think I talked about that in the episode on relationships. And that's why you can change a relationship just by changing yourself. You don't have to worry about changing anybody else. Now, I don't know the details of why she had this reaction. I have no idea what it was I said that made her have this reaction to me. And it really doesn't matter. Because what I know is she was triggered in some way to a belief that she has. And if you've listened to my episode on beliefs, then you know that my question would be, is that belief serving you? But that's something that she's going to have to work out on her end. I have to be over here working out what's going on my end. So I started to feel better, and I left the message for her, and I started thinking about how I have some ownership here, because I know that what I'm talking about can be triggering for people. So I've been anticipating the negative responses from people. I had a feeling that would happen. So I have some responsibility here. That's a vibration that I was emitting, and now I've received it back. And I appreciate that happened, because the only way to clear up your vibration is to understand your own power in it. And I created that. I created that negativity. I put it out there, and it just so happens that she's the one that brought it back to me. So I appreciate that I'm able to recognize that and purposely focus on all of the other positive things that are happening instead of the one negative thing. So then I decided to come in here and do this episode and share my experience with all of you. But before I did, I wanted to read through the numerology that I had looked up for the 222 number. And oh my gosh, it just all made so much sense and was powerful, because I realized that my guides, we all have guides in the non-physical. No one's ever really gone. So all of your loved ones who have transitioned back into non-physical are still with you all the time. And you guys know that. You feel them, right? You feel your loved ones with you, even though they've already transitioned or passed on or died. I don't really like using that terminology, but you understand what I'm saying. So we have these influences in our lives, and one way that they communicate with us is through getting us to see a series of numbers, which has meaning attached to it. So I'm going to share with you what I read about the number 222, and it was so cool. So here we go. Quote, "The number 222 has the influence of the number 2 tripled. This number has a very powerful vibration. It's a combination of attributes of the number 2 and the master builder number 22, which is the number of vision, idealism, transformation, and ancient wisdom. This number also symbolizes the ability to manifest almost impossible things into reality. The number 2 symbolizes trust, faith, serving others, encouragement, adaptability, teamwork, compromise, diplomacy, cooperation, duty, harmony, balance, partnerships, relationships, and selflessness. The number 2 also symbolizes our divine soul's purpose and mission in this life. As a blend of these energies and influences, the number 222 signifies balance, harmony, relationships, serving your soul's purpose, inner wisdom, transformation, and visions. It signifies new fortunate opportunities coming your way soon. It also symbolizes the manifestation of some big dreams and goals you have into reality. The number 222 is an encouragement from your guardian angels to establish harmony and balance in all areas of your life. You need to remain faithful about the path you are following in this life. The angels are informing you that things will soon improve and that such situation will last for a long time. They are asking you not to waste your energy on negativity. They want you to be aware of the damage you can do to yourself and to your life if you have negative thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. This number is a reminder to keep following the path of your soul's mission and purpose. The angels are congratulating you on the good work you have done so far. The angels are asking you to remain patient because the fruits of your efforts and positive attitude will soon begin to manifest into reality. The number 222 is asking you to have faith that everything is working out in your favor. The angels are reminding you that all things happen for a reason. They are also reminding to keep your attitude and expectations positive, so you could expect only your desired outcomes to manifest into your reality. They are reminding you that everything happens in divine timing. This number is a number sequence which commonly appears to people who are in the process of spiritual awakening and realization of the angelic presence and guidance in their lives. You should be very happy if it starts appearing in your life, because it is a very powerful number, signifying the manifestation of your biggest desires and goals into reality. When you keep seeing the number 222 everywhere, that is a message from your guardian angels confirming that you are on the right path in life. They are asking you to maintain your positive outlook on your future. Focus on the outcome you want to manifest into your life. Don't let fears and worries overwhelm you. They are your worst enemies. Fears and worrying only attract the things we fear or worry about in our lives. The angels are reminding you to call on them when that happens, to help you release all your fears and worries from your life. Remember to express your gratitude and appreciation to the universe and your guardian angels for helping you stay on the right path in life. Be grateful for all the blessings you have in life. Also remember to express your appreciation to all the people who have helped you and are still helping you accomplish your desires and goals. The universe will reward you for being sincerely grateful and appreciative." Unquote. So do you see how that message meant so much to me in what I experienced this morning? It applied in several different ways. I had this communication with my inner being. I had the realization that the dialogue was occurring. It inspired me to make an episode. Then I saw the number, which just reinforced that I was on the right track and that the messages I receive from my inner being are important messages that I have to share. Then I had that negative experience, and this told me that I need to not focus on that because my vibration of negativity is what attracted that. That has powerful repercussions. I need to focus on the positivity. The other thing that was really interesting was when I listened to Abraham this morning. Since I have to do it on YouTube, I had to be specific about which topic I wanted to hear about. And the topic I chose was faith. And then after reading this about the number 222, it talks all about faith. There's not a doubt in my mind that my inner being is working for me in every moment, every single moment of my life. All of these things came together in perfect harmony. Even though there was negativity in the mix, it was there for a reason. It was there to help me to grow and understand something at a greater level. It helped me gain greater understanding. And it helped me to formulate this message to share with all of you. I'm nothing but appreciative for that experience. I have no negativity that is in my body or my heart anymore. I had that initial reaction of negativity because a lot of times when negativity is presented to us, we react in a similar fashion. But I have none of that left anymore. It's gone. I am a receiver of source energy. And source energy is telling me that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing for my life. That's all that matters. Even if every single person in the world disagrees with what I'm talking about on this podcast and nobody ever listens to it, that's okay. Because the reason I'm doing it is because I feel it's what I'm meant to do. It's right for me, and it's serving me in a really good way. So many things in my life have improved since I have changed my lifestyle and my worldviews. I'm just sharing my experience, and I still know that words do not teach. People who do not resonate with what I'm saying will not be accepting of my message, and that's okay. Because I still know that whatever they are going through is the right thing for them. But I can't let what they're going through change what is right for me. I know what is right for me, and this is it. And for those of you who are getting something out of this, I appreciate you. I truly do. I am enjoying this experience, and I'm enjoying co-creating with all of you. There's no room for negativity when everything is working out for me.
That concludes this episode, but if you don't want to wait for the next episode to come out, I have more for you at drwilliamspodcast.com. You can learn more about me and my journey to podcasting, find all the ways to connect with me on social media, and there's a button to subscribe so you're the first to know what's new and upcoming. You also can shoot me an email at hello@drwilliamspodcast.com. You are so special to me, and your support does not go unnoticed. I want to support you too. This podcast is my outlet for growth because when you teach something, you hold yourself accountable and apply the information in life. But the inspiration for these episodes comes in a variety of ways, and one of those is through you. I want you to feel like this is your show too. So send me a message and let me know which episode is your favorite and why. And tell me if there's a topic you'd want to hear me talk about. Your feedback applies to so many people, and your suggestion could change someone's life for the better. The best way to do this is by subscribing to the show and leaving a review through your favorite podcast platform. I really listen to you guys, and this dialogue feeds my soul. You say that you're a fan of me, but truth be told, I am a fan of yours. Everything is working out for each of us, and we're all in this together.